WhiskyJason here, whiskey from the viewpoint of an American over here in Germany, tasting rare and exotic whiskeys. Today I have a German whiskey. It's called the WillowBurn. It is the classic Hercynian single malt whiskey matured in the best Moscatel Casks from Malaga, Spain. 40% ABV. So if we go to Whiskybase, this is 241626. This has a recommended retail price of €79.90. And it is a no-age product. I've been told at least 5 years. And it is a small batch of 1,152 bottles for Germany. Bottle code L2184. So let's talk a little bit about this distillery. It's called the Hammerschmiede. Hammersmith. It used to be an old blacksmith place that they converted into a distillery. And they also call it the Hercynian Distilling Company. Hercynian is the old Latin word for the region of Germany called Harz, H-A-R-Z. It's a mountainous region between Berlin and Hanover. Let's just say that, okay? And the distillery is there. And it used to be called the Glenelgs. And the SWA sued them, and so they decided not to bottle it and just decided to change the name of the distillery and also call it the Ellsburn Distillery. So now we're in the middle of the 4 different products that they have. They have the Ellsburn, which is the original Hercynian single malt whiskey, which is a very cask-forward whiskey with no smoke or peat in it. All right, so then we have the Alrik, A-L-R-I-K, and that is their smoky whiskey, which means that they actually take beechwood and smoke the barley, or even alder wood and smoke the barley. Then they have Emperor's Way, which is with peat. So that is a peat taken from the region itself and used to make a peated whiskey. So we have a non-peated whiskey, we have a smoky whiskey, so non-peated, Ellsburn, smoky whiskey, the Alrik, and the Emperor's Way, the peated whiskey. Now, let's go this. All right, so we have here the fruity, we have here the smoked, and we have here the peated. In between the smoked and the peated, they have the WillowBurn. WillowBurn is named after a monastery, Wiede. I visited them in October of 2023. I'll talk about that in a second. Visited the monastery, the spiritual home of the distillery, and that's also where the monks started distilling themselves, and now they have their roots all the way back 300, 400 years ago, where this distillery says, hey, they inspired us. So WillowBurn means it's not totally without smoke, but it's not totally smoked barley either. So you can take barrels and mix and match, and also with the mash bill, take a maybe 10%, 20% smoked barley and add it to 90 or 80% non-smoked. And that's what this is, all right? €79. I was at the distillery in October of 2023 and bought this. This is a hand fill. This is, I was there on the 13th of October 2023. This is a Muscatel hogshead. This is bottle number 20. Bottled by WhiskyJason, and we have 61.5% ABV. €99. So €99 for a single hand fill distillery exclusive, or standard small batch for €79. All right, so we're going to compare these two and see what happens. Now, this is not available anyplace else except for at the distillery. So you have to take the long trip. For me, it's about 3.5 hours there. And I can go there and buy the distillery onlys, the hand fills. I will have, in just a couple weeks from the filming of this, so by the time you watch it, it's already probably over. I will have a little meet up with influencers there that I organized together with Anna Buchholz, the owner of the distillery. Her father's going to be there. I think she's the 2nd or the 3rd generation distiller. They've been doing great things there at the distillery, and this is one of the best German distillers out there. So we have St. Kilian, which is basically Scottish whiskey made in Germany, Scottish hardware, Scottish distilling technology, excellent cask management. Or we go to Ellsburn. They've been making whiskey now for 12 years at least, if not 15. And they use wood-fired, direct-fired pot stills. They use local ingredients only from basically within 100 miles of the distillery. The peat, the wood, everything, the barley all comes from local regions, and they do not want to become a international super powerhouse of whiskey, but they want to provide great whiskey for Germany. Full stop. They have no plans of expanding into Europe. They have no plans of expanding to America or Asia. They're just going to be one of the best German distilleries locally, nationally. And I think that's great. All right, so they have a good life there. They have good employees. They have great fan base. People do pilgrimage to the distillery, and they love it. It's a great area for vacations. I had a vacation there with my family in the fall for a weekend. It was a beautiful, wonderful place. We walked up one of the highest mountains in the region called the Brocken, and had a great family weekend retreat together. And this is what they also live from. A lot of people visit the area, have vacations there, and go to the distillery and take a bottle home, or two, or three, or six, or 12, or 20. I don't know. I took home three, I think. Two or three. I don't remember. All right, but this was one of them. Very, very good. So we have the normal Ellsburn. We have the WillowBurn in between that and the Alrik, which is smoked, and we have the Emperor's Way, which is peated. 46% versus 61.5%. 79 euros versus 99 euros. On the nose, I get a tiny whiff of sulfur, unfortunately. Now, I'm not sure if this is Muscatel. I don't think it's sherry. Now, Muscatel sherry can be actually made outside of the sherry triangle around Jerez. Malaga is close by, but it's not part of that triangle. Now, Muscatel is a certain type of grape, just like Pedro Jimenez is a certain type of grape, and all the rest of the other sherries are made from a other different type of grape. And so you have basically three different types of grapes here that we need to make sherry. Pedro Jimenez, as I mentioned, Moscatel, and Palomino. Palomino is the normal grape for our finos, for our mateados, for our palocotados, for our oloroso, and so on and so on. All right. So, but we have three grapes, and this is the type of grape which is Moscatel, which does not have to be fortified, but can be. And Malaga actually has some very nice wines just made from the Moscatel grape around the nice little steep slopes of the city. Beautiful city. If you've never been to Malaga, Alicante, Cordoba, Seville, so beautiful, beautiful, beautiful areas. You could also visit the Alhambra in the there. I just love that part of Spain. It was beautiful. All right, good. On the nose here, on the nose, I get much more of that smokiness. All right, so we're talking here about the beech smoke moment. So in Germany, we don't use mesquite there very often. We use beech to smoke things. Beech, like a beech tree, the white tree with the bark. That's what we use a lot for smoking things. And that's what also the Hammerschmiede, the Hercynian distillery uses. Let's try it, 46%. Yes, but there is a creaminess. There is a light smokiness towards the end. So first you have a nice barley goodness, 100% German barley. There's a little bit of that wine cask influence. Then there's a little bit of the alcohol, and then there's a little bit of the beech smoke. I'm not particularly fond of this flavor profile. There are other people that love it. I'm not the best person to talk about things here. So if I go very briefly over here to our different types of whiskeys, and I go over here to the WillowBurn, um, they use different casks. The distillery is the best place I know in Germany from German whiskeys to try all the whiskeys where this cask forward influence, to try what happens to a PX sherry cask. What happens to an Oloroso sherry cask? What happens to a Palo Cortado sherry cask? What happens to a pale cream sherry cask? What happens to a Manzanilla sherry cask? What's the difference between a Sultan and Malaga, or even a Ruby Port or Madeira? Did I mention Malaga, Mazala? They even have oak, charred oak blood tubes, which are very, very small, even smaller than 30 liters, smaller than a quarter cask. They have all these different things that are going on in there, and they have firkins, they have octaves, they have quarter casks, they have blood tubes, they have butts, they have barriques, they have barrels, they have all these different things, and it's amazing what they're doing with their cask management. They are, even though St. Kilian in Germany is maybe well known, more well known for the cask management, I think they have been doing it longer and been doing it more intensively, is the word I'm going to use here. This is a C whiskey for me. This is something I take it or leave it. It's not my flavor profile. Other things from them have been my favorite profile. 79 euros for a small batch, 3-4 barrels mixed together. It's okay price. I'm just gonna for 79 euros, I would buy something else. All right, so I'm gonna give it a C minus. But wait, there's more. We have the single cask. We have the hand fill. We have the distillery exclusive. And I want to compare that real quick. While visiting the distillery in October 2023, I was able to buy one. I bought one hand fill, and this was it. I bought an Alrik. I bought a WillowBurn. This is very, very good. I can't really express how good this is. On the nose, I do get the perfect marriage of the muscatel and a little bit of that beech wood smoke moment. On the palate, we're talking here about 61.5% ABV, cask strength, hand filled. I filled it myself. Put the label on here, everything myself. And the palate, the muscatel together with that wood smoke moment, they complement each other, and there's no burn. This is a bargain. I'm going to really say the word bargain for 99 euros. Anna Buchholz, if you're listening to this in English, keep the price, okay? Don't change the price. You get the experience of going to the distillery. You get the experience of actually trying this beforehand. You get the experience of bottling it your own, and then putting your own, writing the label yourself, putting the label on there, signing the book that you had that bottle, and then taking this souvenir home. That experience and that flavor profile and that memory that you get the souvenir to take home and cherish for the next 6 months, 2 years, whatever it takes for you to finish this bottle here, is more than worth the value of that. Have you been to Scotland lately? Have you tried to buy a hand fill for under £100? Not very often. And this is the pinnacle of a souvenir experience for us whiskey geeks from a distillery. And therefore, the value for money of this, even though it's 100 euros, but this is 79, this is 46%. Non-chilled filtered, no color added, but this is cask strength. This I did myself. This is an B plus, an A minus for the experience you get. I will always remember signing my name. I will always remember filling out the nice little form. I'll remember actually it being filled up in front of me, pulling the lever and filling this bottle up. It was fabulous. And therefore, and it tastes good as well. And therefore, this is my value of the money winner by far. This, there's other things I like more from elsewhere. So my question today is twofold. First of all, which distillery do you know that has a very cask forward wood management style? I think Granadachi is a good example. I think Ellsburn is a good example. All right, I can actually take 8 different products and try 8 different casks, and have a very strong influence of that product, of that finish, or that full maturation that happened. Full maturation 5+ years, full maturation here as well. And the second question is, what was your best experience with a hand fill whiskey? I'm going to do maybe a video all by myself of this, but if you want to answer already, that's fine. All right, what was your best hand fill experience? One of my best was here. Um, I've been at the distillery where I had to pump my own whiskey bottle full. That was kind of cool as well. Take the whiskey thief and fill the bottle myself. That was also very, very cool. But this was also excellently cool, I must admit. All right, so, and last question, if you don't have any of the first two, is what Moscatel finished product can you recommend? Thank you very much for watching, liking, subscribing, and telling others about this crazy guy over in Germany, talking about whiskey, more than just reviewing bottles, giving you a little background information where you can learn as well. From my experience of almost 10 years now of whiskey, at least 8 with whiskey tube now, and over 5,000 bottles I've tried. Ouch. Thank you very much. See you real soon. Bye-bye.